I've been Pentecostal my entire life, but I've been discerning Catholicism for a long time now. Why should I become Catholic over becoming something like Orthodoxy or Anglicanism? Some of the concerns I have can be Vatican II theology. If I have a legit baptism, why can't I just be Orthodox or Anglican? Especially for me with my career and things like that, it would be a lot easier to become Orthodox or to become Anglican instead of becoming Catholic.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I think the first and most important thing to say is becoming Orthodox or Catholic would be a step forward. That the differences between Orthodox and Catholics are smaller than the gap separating us from Protestants. You would get valid sacraments, and so there would be a major forward movement either way. There's a much bigger question mark with Anglican sacraments. We don't accept the validity of Anglican sacraments, so not all of them, particularly the priesthood. So you've got a sacramental problem there. But I'm going to focus particularly on Catholic Orthodox, and I think a lot of it will answer the Anglican question by extension. So the first thing is the role of the Pope, right? So if you go back, there's clearly a special role that Peter has in the Bible. I talk about this a lot in my book, Pope Peter, and we can send you a copy of that if you'd like. But even the Orthodox will recognize that there's some special role for Peter and there's some special role for the Bishop of Rome. You just can't explain early Christianity without understanding those two things, and that there's some connection between them. And so an Orthodox has to believe that the way the church is set up had this special place for the Church of Rome as the inheritor of Peter's authority in some way, and that this first among equals, this primate of some kind, is cut off. That's a big problem. That's the first thing. Orthodox will admit that they are not in communion with the bishop that was regarded as the first bishop throughout the early church without exception. Second, there's a real problem with so even when you say becoming Orthodox, I would say which Orthodox? Because closely related to this, the Orthodox right now are in schism with one another. It's not just that the Oriental Orthodox are in schism with the Eastern Orthodox. It's that right now Constantinople and Moscow are not in communion with one another. And so there's major problems there. And unless you're going to arbitrarily just choose one side in that fight, there should be some principle by which you can know, well, what is the true church that I'm supposed to be a part of? And the way this was understood in the early church was by looking at the Bishop of Rome. And we see this in early Christian writing. So, for instance, St. Optatus of Miletus, written in the 4th century, early 300s, argues that if you want to know which church you should be a part of, be in the church that the Bishop of Rome is part of. Going back even before that, St. Irenaeus in 180 says that he could trace any of the apostolic churches list of bishops, but he's going to trace the Bishop of Rome because that's the church all other churches have to agree with. So that idea that there's something special about the Church of Rome, something special about this tied to Petrine authority, is a really ancient idea. If you don't have that, then you do seem to be arbitrarily choosing one or another Orthodox church or Anglicanism or anything of the sort. So there's a clear principle by which to prefer Catholicism to the alternatives.